This is an off-the-shelf video. The game is Strategos 2, Rules for Refighting Ancient Battles by Philip Sabin, published by Society of Ancients. And the year on this is 2006. And this is the same Philip Sabin who is responsible for Lost Battles. And the Strategos 2 rules look like nothing more than an earlier version of the Lost Battle rules that appear in the back of the book Lost Battles. But I'm going to set that aside. This video is on Strategos 2. So there are, to my mind, certain games that you should just play for nothing other than the experience and to experience something unique. In this category, I put BAM, or Bonaparte at Marengo. I put Strategos 2. I put PK. And I put it's the West War series by Shetler. So there are these games that are so unique that whether you really find out that you enjoy them or not, they are something to be experienced. So this one has come off the shelf, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump right in with the full 4-turn example of play given in the rules here. Battle of Cannae, I think. So that is the layout. The battlefield is broken up into 20 zones, or area zones. And that is the setup. Well, actually this isn't the setup. This is the deployment of the armies at the end of turn 1. And so I'm just showing that picture because this is exactly what I have put together, reconstructed. I have these slight markings here, very slight markings, dividing my battlefield here into the 20 zones. Got the river, got the high ground down here, and I've got the armies and set up exactly like that. And these unit designations are exactly what I have on my mock-up, my test components here, playtest components, I guess you could say. Okay, so with most of the battlefield in the picture here, I will zoom in and we will play through the example of play, and this will be the first, my first taste of actually playing this rule set. All right. Okay, example of play, the Battle of Cannae. This account describes the first 4 turns of the Cannae scenario to show how Strategos can simulate real events and to help understand the rules as a whole. The first turn is played out to illustrate deployment mechanisms, but both sides choose to implement the historical deployments given in the scenario. The next chapter in the rules, 13, is battle scenarios. We have a page of explanatory notes up front, scenario setting, army details, key zones, and scenario design. And then you have all of these battles listed, about 4 per page: Marathon, Plataea, Mantinea, Canaxa, etc. 4 per page. Still 4 per page. So here's Cannae, 216 BC, Romans, Carthaginians, basically the orders of battle, and the map set up with the 2 center zones on each side of the battlefield shaded to indicate key zones. Here's my little marker. So this is the, yes, this is the historical, this is the historical deployment given that our example of play will play out. All right, and then lots of scenarios. Okay. All right. The maps show the position at the end of each turn. The Punic army is in darker print and italic, so in my battlefield, the Roman army is going to be red, and the Punic army is going to be blue. Spent units are shown in brackets. Okay, what does it mean to be spent? What is a spent unit? All units begin the battle fresh. When a fresh unit is hit, it becomes spent. Spent units never recover. They never recover and suffer certain combat and morale penalties, but otherwise they continue to operate normally. However, if a spent unit receives a further hit, it is shattered and is immediately removed from play. Spent status represents missiles running low and troops becoming wounded or disheartened, thereby reflecting the nature of ancient combat as a contest of attrition, exhaustion, and demoralization before one side gave way altogether. So, in my game, this unit, still don't know what VHI is. I'm getting there. What is probably veteran heavy infantry, and this is how, for now, I'm going to show spent. I'm gonna have a shading of background like that. Still haven't figured out how. I'll get a better idea when I come up with something permanent. But this again is just my playtest components. Okay, so that is a spent unit. Lead units are underlined on these battle maps. So you'll see AHC. This AHC is underlined. There are 3 ALEs in this zone, but one of them is underlined. So in my game here, I'm going to put like that. This is the lead unit. Just going to have the ready arrow underneath it. So that's going to be lead units for me on my battlefield for now. Hasdrubal and Varro are accompanied by their cavalry units. So, yeah. That's Hasdrubal. Got the little flag till I get a better idea. And Varro on the Roman side. All right. If this is heavy cavalry and this is heavy infantry, they're not distinguished. They're only distinguished in the coding, which comes straight from the Strategos 2 rules. Okay, so Roman player turn 1. Got our battle dice, 6-sided dice. So it says the Roman command roll is a 4. So let's just say it was a 4, which adds to the 7 from the initial Roman FV. I think that's fighting value, but we're going to look that up. The initial Roman FV of 70 to give 11 commands. So, okay, 4 plus 7 is 11. That's the number of commands. So, actually, I will want... All right. Fighting value. So I'm going to use these little checker chip thingies for my orders. So I've got 11 orders here. And now I'm just going to set those off to the side as we use them. There was my die roll of 4 for the Romans. Now fighting value, FV, or fighting value. Fighting values. Each army has a fighting value made up of 2 points for each levy unit, 3 points for each average unit or African elephant unit, with some exceptions, and 4 points for each veteran unit or Indian elephant unit. Each general contributes 3 points if uninspired, 6 points if average, 12 points if inspired, and 18 points if brilliant. So, okay, when combined with the differing unit sizes, okay, the trooper ratios, this means that a veteran army with a brilliant general may have a higher fighting value than an army with 10 times as many ill-led levies. Okay, so let's go to different unit sizes. Each scenario lists a multiple from 1 to 8, and ours was 8. Right there, M. Here's the scenario. The very first piece of information is M times 8. So our multiple is 8 for this battle, which reflects how large the contending armies were. The rough number of actual troops represented by each unit depends on this multiple and on the unit's type and class as follows. Levy infantry unit, 1,000. Okay, average infantry or levy cavalry unit, veteran infantry or average cavalry unit, veteran cavalry unit, chariot unit, elephant unit. Okay. Okay, so it looks like the fighting value for the army for each scenario is already given. It's already added up for you. I assume that's what the FV, fighting value 70, means at the end of the Roman order of battle there. But I was looking also for our leaders. So we have Varro and Paulus. Varro is here. Okay. Yeah, I'm too zoomed in. Okay, but Varro is a UL and Paulus is a UC. So Varro is UL, which I want to know these up front. What am I working with? I think that's an uninspired leader. Okay, Varro is a UL, which I'm assuming is uninspired leader, and Paulus is a UC, uninspired commander. So each general is also categorized as a leader, L, who is permanently attached to a specific guard unit, or as a commander, C, who may move across the battlefield independently. Okay, so in any case, we have the Roman fighting value of 70, which is also given in the scenario description. This camera lens is way too small today. All right. All right, so I think it's 1 in 10, I guess. Fighting value of 70 gives the 7, which is added to 1d6, which in our case was a 4 to give 11. So we've got 11 commands, which we're going to use this as a pool. All right, let's get started. The Roman cavalry unit is activated. Okay, that tells me that there's only one Roman cavalry unit. So the question is, what do we have on the Roman side? What are we working with here now? We know that it's the top half of this map. That is the Roman army. We've already gone over Varro and we've gone over Paulus. We know where they are. So what's the deal with all the rest of these units? All right, looking at the order of battle, it starts Romans, 12 ALE, 6 Romans, 6 Allied. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and assume, and I'll correct myself later if I'm wrong, I think 6 Romans, 6 Allied is more just historical information, like if you want to, set up your miniature army with historically accurate figures or whatever. I think in game terms this is just, 12 ALE. So is this average, I don't know, average levy? That's what we'll find out. So we got 12 ALE. Okay, so I go back to the front of the rules under unit types and classes. I see A average. So I think the A is average, but I don't see LE. So There's another place I'm going to look. Okay, so 10 pages later, luckily I vaguely remembered this. All right, so about 10 pages later, Chapter 9, Special Unit Types, Subtypes Available. Here's LE, Legionnaires. So average Legionnaires, that's ALE. So we got 12 ALE, or 12 units of average. By the way, here are my ALE, average Legionnaires. Okay, back to the Roman order of battle. We have 1 ALI, that's average light infantry, and in parentheses, Roman plus Syracusan. And then we have 2 LLI, I think that's levy light infantry, in parentheses, 1 Roman, 1 Allied. Then we have the uninspired leader, that's Varro, plus average heavy cavalry, and then 2 AHC, okay, 2 more average heavy cavalry, 1 Roman, 1 Allied. So the first one, the Allied average heavy cavalry plus Varro must be the guard unit that Varro leads directly. And then finally we have the uninspired commander, Paulus. Okay. All right. So the Roman cavalry unit. Okay. I guess it will become clear which one we're talking about. All right, well, just push on. The Roman cavalry unit is activated for double movement at no cost, using the 2 one-command exemptions from Paulus and Varro. It is deployed in the right rear facing right. Okay, that's this one. Okay. Okay. So basically this is a deployment move. The army is marching onto the battlefield. That's what's going on here. Now I got it. So the screen is going to be zoomed in. It's just the way it is. But this is the Roman line over here. And all of this, and this is the Roman right. This is the Roman right. So what the example of play is saying is that the first unit, which gets a double movement at no cost because of the command exemptions from Paulus and Varro, deploys onto the battlefield into this zone. This is the right zone, so it is deployed in the right rear facing right. That's the Roman right. All right, it's facing right. Then it's moved into the right wing zone. That's this one, which includes the river. Turned forward meaning towards the Punic line, and moved into the right flank zone by the river, having used all 4 of its available moves. Now we're on the other side of the line. This is the Roman left. So we pick it up, the other 2 Allied cavalry units. 1 cavalry unit, 2 cavalry units. Led by Varro. Are activated normally as a group for 2 commands. So spending 2 commands there. Deployed in the left rear facing left. So this is the Roman center rear. This is the left rear, Roman left rear. Okay, so they're deployed in in the Roman left rear facing left. Roman left. Like that. So they deploy there in this zone right here, which is the Roman left, facing left, and moved into the left wing zone. So all three of them march into the left zone there, still facing left. Three commands. Okay, so that is that. So we've got spent 2. Okay, 3 commands right here. 1, 2, 3 are used to activate all 3 light infantry units for special double moves into the 3 center zones. This is the center forward of the Roman, center right forward, center left forward. So grab the light infantry. So this light infantry double move starts here. I think it's 1 to come on, 2 to enter this zone right here, which again is the Roman left forward. All right, and then the average light infantry. Average light infantry, 1 to come on the battlefield, 2 to advance to the center here, which is also the Roman key area, like that. And then the last light infantry unit, levy light infantry, comes into this zone, the right rear zone, for 1, 2 to the front there. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay, this leaves 6 commands. This leaves 6 commands to allow the legionnaires to deploy through group moves into the 3 rear areas: rear center, rear left, rear right, with the center being weighted to try to break through as at Trebia. Paulus goes to the right rear, where he is safer than with the cavalry, and lead units are selected. Okay, so I'm going to do all that, and we'll come back in just a minute. Okay, this is what was meant. The 3 group, 1 group, 2 group, 3 groups moved on to the battlefield in the rear, left, center, right. Paulus came in on the right rear. This is all average legionnaires. And then I went through and marked all of the lead units, 1 lead unit per zone. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one for this zone, this one for this zone, etc. Okay, the Punic player rolls a 4, adds to 8, which is from the fighting value for the initial Punic army, the initial fighting value for the Punic army of 84. So 8 plus 4 is 12 commands to deploy with. And I went ahead and deployed all of the Punic forces for the historical deployment and identified lead units. Okay, Roman player turn 2. The Carthaginians bide their time and let the Romans go first. A roll of, let's say, 4 gives 11 commands. Varro uses his exemption and 1 command to turn the Allied cavalry forward and move them into the left flank zone. Okay. Varro uses his exemption and 1 command to turn the Allied cavalry forward. Okay, and move forward into the left wing. Okay, the average light infantry in the center are activated with 1 command and attack Hannibal's light infantry. There is a +1. Okay. Okay, there's a +1 for being the lead unit. And a further +1 comes from an attack bonus bought for 2 commands. Okay, subsequent roll of 7. It's just subsequent roll of 7 rises to 9. The +2 required for an all-out attack, and the Romans choose to make both light infantry spent. Okay, the reference to the 2 light infantry must be the two lead units, one on either side. So they will both be spent. I'll mark that, and then the other Roman light infantry are not going to advance into these open areas. Instead, the legionnaires are going to move forward. Those units are spent, and we have 7 remaining commands. 5 of these, plus Paulus's command exemption, are going to be used to move the legionnaire line forward. So the legionnaires all moved up. Paulus moved to the center. The average light infantry spent unit is still spent in the rear there. Finally, one command activates the Roman cavalry for an attack. Last command's wasted since it is not enough to allow an attack bonus. So this last remaining command is wasted. Here's to attack. Which one is it? I guess it's... Wait. What was missed here? Okay, I had to figure out who was who on the battlefield. So it's this heavy cavalry. One command to attack. The Gallic cavalry... Yeah, the Gallic cavalry here. So the Romans would roll, and we will say they roll a 8. 8 plus 1 for being the first attack, so it hits the Gallic cavalry unit. Hasdrubal here foregoes a rally attempt. Okay, so I'm just assuming he loses his lead unit status, and he's spent like that. Lead units are selected, I guess, where necessary. The average light infantry in the center that was spent loses its lead status to the average legionnaires right here. Okay, for the Carthaginian Punic player, turn number 2, they roll. Let's say they roll Snake Eyes. 2 plus 8 gives 10 commands. The leading heavy cavalry are activated with Hasdrubal's exemption. Okay. Okay, we're looking at Hasdrubal and the heavy cavalry on the Carthaginian left. Okay. So I'll move the spent unit to the rear. Hasdrubal attacks with his heavy cavalry first. He rolls we'll say he rolls a 5 plus 3 which rises to 8, which scores a hit on the Roman heavy cavalry here. So it would be spent. I guess he probably loses his lead status. I'm not sure when lead status is lost, but he's spent because of Hasdrubal attacking with his Spanish heavy cavalry there. I think it's Spanish. Okay, the other veteran heavy cavalry Spanish attacks. We'll say it rolls a 6 plus 1. Okay, with a 2 command bonus. So I guess I'm spending another Yes, I'm spending 2 commands to get a +1. I'll leave those there. So that rises to 7, which allows an all-out attack. And the Punic player accepts this so as to shatter the Roman horse. Okay, so that means that, right, so that means is he's spent for that, but a spent result on an already spent Roman heavy cavalry shatters it, eliminating it from the battlefield. Okay, the morale roll is 3, so there's no chance of panic, since even the neighboring light infantry have a morale of 1. Army morale of 2, -1 for being levies. All 3 attacking cavalry units advance into the Roman right flank zone. Yep, and I don't know when this is done, but Hasdrubal's heavy cavalry is lead unit, like that, and then rest of the cavalry into the Roman right there. This Celtic cavalry turns forward and moves into the Carthaginian forward right for 1 command. Yes, for 1 command. Units in the center are not activated since Hannibal, it's Hannibal right there, plans a flip-flop next turn and does not wish to preempt a major attack. Instead, the whole infantry line is moved forward for 4 commands plus Hannibal's exemption. So, taking 4 commands plus Hannibal's 1 exemption for 5 commands total. This is how it all looks. Now, the Carthaginian infantry are occupying all 3 front, center zones. Center, left, right, but forward. Here's that original spent light infantry, and Hannibal is in the front center there, and also the Carthaginian key zone. Okay, on the Carthaginian right, the Numidian cavalry, the average light cavalry here, are activated for 2 commands, and the first unit is given an attack bonus for 1 further command. So 3 commands there. So they we'll say they roll a 5. They roll a 5 plus 2 to 9. Allows an all-out attack, and the Punic player chooses to have 1 unit on each side suffer a hit. So AHC, they're going to lose their status. AHC here is spent. Yeah, spent like that. And loses his spend status, and he's spent. All right, 1 on each side. Okay, it says here, Varro attempts a rally, but fails on a roll of 5. That's Varro there, and takes over lead himself. So there. Punic lead units need not be designated since the flip-flop is imminent, and even the momentary Lead status of the light infantry. Light infantry in the right center is unnecessary. Okay. And that is the end of Punic player turn 2. All I can say is, if that was hard to follow, like I said, it is my impression. And after this first experience, I'm still thinking this is in the category of those games that are simply not very familiar. I didn't always know what I was doing here, so it's a great example of play, I think. And only halfway through. It's very interesting, though. Interesting, but not really like any other game in any strong sense.